Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Plastic Underground office. This video is going to be coming out on January 1st, 2024. It's kind of hard to believe that it is 2024 already. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to just kind of quickly run down a year in review. This is something I have not done before, and I thought maybe it would be fun. So I'm going to go from the beginning of 2023 of all of my actual video, prop videos and stuff, and then I'll do a run through of everything that the Nerd Hole's covered. So here we go. So the first video that I put out was finishing my BD1 droid. So I had done every part of the BD1 in a previous video, but that was in December. So January, I put out the BD1 finished droid. I painted him and finished him all up. That was a pretty fun build. He is going to take center place in the basement build when I get that going. So next video, I painted the Bad Batch Season 2 Hunter display. So I 3D printed Hunter from Galactic Armory. I bought that file and I printed and painted him up. He is probably to date one of the biggest 3D print statues that I have done, and he is currently up on the shelf. Let's see. Yeah. So then I started my Gotta Print 'em All series. I started with the 3 starters, and I did their evolutions. 3D printed them all up, put them on cool little bases, and that would be a series that I would continue throughout the year in bite-sized pieces. It's not one of my most popular videos or series on the channel, but I really enjoy Pokemon, and I am still committed to printing all 151. So look forward to more of that this year. Next thing, I had a few requests to make the Darth Raven helmet. So I did that. I made that out of EVA foam. Got that all painted. I put those templates out for everybody. And yeah, that was a fun build. The next thing I did is I did the Isaac Clarke from Dead Space 3D print and painted that up. And I think that was the same time that the re-release game came out. I think that's kind of why I did that. But yeah, that was a fun little project. That is also on the shelf. Next video is the Gotta Print 'em All episode 2. That one I did the bugs, so I keep going right in order. I don't skip around. So those are Pokemon numbers 10 through 15. The next one is a pretty popular video on my page, is the Scout Trooper helmet. That is a template I got from, oh man, what's his name? I think it's Stormtrooper Templates. I think that's the guy's name. He does a lot of really cool Stormtrooper and Star Wars full patterns for armor and everything. He's really, really cool. I love that helmet. That helmet was actually given to my buddy Parker, and yeah, he really, really loved it, and that might be something I might have to revisit again. The next thing, Will and I started our buddy builds of the original series Phaser with working sound and lights and everything. We 3D printed that and got that all wired and painted. Yeah, so we did 2 videos on that. Just the first one was about printing and sanding and all that fun stuff. Second one was wiring, electronics, and all that. In the meantime, my next video, I made the original Star Trek Phaser from foam. I wanted to show everybody that you can also make complicated things out of EVA foam, and you don't have to have a 3D printer, and you can make that yourself a lot cheaper. You can even add sounds and lights into that. I just did not because of sake of time. Then Will and I finished up our original series Phaser with lights and sound. We got that all painted and ready to go, and I did kind of a comparison video to the foam one and the 3D print one. And not being partial, but in my thumbnail I'm looking at, you can't really overly tell, like if you were looking at them pretty quick. So that is cool. Next video I did was the Dead Space Intermediate helmet. This was another pattern I purchased from another builder. He had a really great pattern on this helmet, and that is on the wall. I put lights in that, so that lights up. It's pretty cool. Next thing is Will and I were doing something fun for the Nerd Holes, and Mario Brothers was about to come out. So I bought a hat template from, oh man, I can never pronounce her name. Kami, I'll put a link in the description, but yeah, she put out these cool hat patterns, so I used that pattern to make the classic Mario and Luigi plumber cap. I also made mustaches, and I bought some cheap gloves from Harbor Freight to add to our little cheap, quick costumes. Yeah, so the next video here is I did the Star Trek Enterprise communicator and universal translator. The communicator is like the first thing I ever really 3D printed on my printer, and I had that footage and I never did anything with it. Then I found the file for the universal translator that fit the communicator, and I had finished watching all of Enterprise, and I knew that was something I wanted to do. So I did them both. I used both in the same video, and I got a good video out of that. That was really fun. That came out really well, and that is on a shelf in the basement behind my basement office. Then I made the Mando gauntlets, Din Djarin's gauntlets. That was a really fun build. I also kind of perfected a technique of using graphite with clear Plasti-Dip glossifier, and yeah, those came out really, really well, and that's something I still keep forgetting to go back to and work on my Mandalorian costume. I feel like I'll get my Mandalorian costume done and ready to wear long after Mando is not relevant anymore. Yeah, so that's a bummer. So the next thing is Indiana Jones had a new movie coming out. Bummer. But I wanted to make a quick little costume for Will and I to do some fun little video intros for the podcast. So I did an impromptu video on how to make an Indiana Jones costume. I made his hat and his whip and his gun holster out of foam. That was pretty fun, and I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun filming that. Will even bought a paintball gun with special effects paintball bullets that have dust and wood chips in them, so he could shoot at trees and have them explode next to me. And yeah, that was a great time. Honestly, that was like really, really, really fun. We had a great time doing that. Next video is I got back from Galaxy's Edge in Disney, and I made the sign that hangs on the shop stall. All the shop stalls in Batuu have a sign, so I made the one that kind of hangs right next to the cold brew coffee. I really enjoyed that cold brew coffee with the Cocoa Puffs in it, so I wanted to make that sign, and that'll be also displayed in the basement room build. That was a great build, easy build, very fun to make out of foam. You should definitely make one. I have the patterns on my Facebook page. Next thing, I made the Minecraft pickaxe, and I painted one side to look like the diamond and one side to look like the netherite. And that was a pretty fun, quick, easy build. I took inspiration from SKS Props. He kind of made this Mario sign with cubed EVA foam and glued them all together in a pixel format. So I wanted to do the same thing, but make it Minecraft, because I have not done anything Minecraft on the channel. Okay, next thing is I made the Decayed Master Sword. This was a super fun build. This is the second time now that I've made a Master Sword, and I gotta tell you, like the complex like shapes and everything is like super fun to figure out and make for yourself. And with the Decayed, it's all chewed up, and I had to make all these different layers and paint them. It's very, very fun to make. Turns out my neighbor is a huge Zelda fan, and so this was gifted to him. I kind of put it on the other side of my fence, and I made like a little impromptu like Legend of Zelda like treasure map, and I put that in his mailbox, and he had a fun little adventure finding that. And yeah, he hangs that in his office, and it's really cool, and he really likes it. So that makes me happy. Next two videos are another Gotta Print 'Em All videos. The Pidgey family, the Ratatat family, and Ekans and Firo. Those are the ones we did. Okay, so then the next video is I made the phase pistol from Star Trek Enterprise. Is probably the fourth time I've made that phaser, and I had a fun time doing that. I found my old patterns, my original patterns to make that, and yeah, it's just a fun build. It comes out really good. You can have the battery pack go in and out, and I kind of was remembering my mom a little bit when I made that, so I made a separate video just kind of talking about the story of when my mom was sick, and Will and I kind of really bonded over that in the shop when we could. And yeah, there's a whole story, so if you want to check that out, please check that out. It's not like me, it's really heartfelt, and yeah, that's it. The next video is I made the NES game cartridges. I made a gold Legend of Zelda game, and I made a little Nerd Holes game. Those were super fun to make out of EVA foam, and it got me thinking I wanted to make more Nintendo stuff. So next video is another Gotta Print 'Em All. I did Pikachu, Raichu, Sandslash, and Sandshrew. That was a fun little quick build. Next video is the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach had kind of came out and everybody was playing it, and I made the Faz Wrench from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Again, easy build, but when it was all came together in that bright yellow and the lightning bolt, like, it was really cool, and that video is pretty popular on my page. Next video is just a quick tip video. I made a wet palette for paints and miniatures and that kind of stuff. Just kind of show you how we did it. The next video is the NES controller. I made the NES controller out of EVA foam with a cord and a plug and everything. And my goal was to make a full-size NES console that you could have on display or use as a prop and not have to worry about it. Yeah, so that was fun. Next thing I did was the Dragon Ball radar. This was a pretty fun little quick build. I put some actual lights in it to make it look like you were close to a couple Dragon Balls. Yeah, I kind of tied in with some of the Dragon Ball rewatch cast that Will and I did on the Nerd Holes. Next video is I had a request to make the stun gun from Space 1999. So yeah, I whipped that together and made that pretty quick. That was a pretty fun build. Next thing is I made I painted 3D printed and painted Babu Frick, and I made his little doorway, the Anzellan door droid shop from The Mandalorian, and that was super fun to make. And yeah, I can't wait to display him in the shop. I want to put in the wall, one of the walls in the basement, I want to put an actual hole in the bottom and put that door in, and even maybe box out from the other side and make it look like there's an actual little droid shop in there. So yeah, that was fun. Next thing is Starfield came out, and I did not play it, and I think ending this year off, it has bad reviews. It's very boring, nothing to do, so that's a bummer. But I made the credit from Starfield. I am a sucker for credits and space money, I guess you want to call it, sci-fi money. My brother, when he came home from Epcot, he brought me 2 of these money credits from the Guardians of the Galaxy area. I guess that's supposed to be what they use in the movies. They're just really cool, flat pieces of acrylic with stuff in, and they're just super cool. And even the Starfield credit, all these things just they just look cool and spacey, and I'm a sucker for space money. Yeah, next thing is I 3D printed and painted Superman breaking out of his kryptonite chains. That was an anniversary present for Will. He really liked it, even though a lot of people on my channel didn't like it. But that is okay, because I like to make stuff that I enjoy and stuff that my friends and family will enjoy. So That's kind of why I did that. And that was my first time really kind of painting like a full like figure, like human skin tones and that kind of stuff. And I had a lot of fun doing that. Okay, so the next video was a big video. I made the Mark 85 Nano Gauntlet with full lights and sound and the burn color LED burn wire through the hand. And it came out really, really cool. And it looks really cool hanging on my wall next to my Thanos Gauntlet. And I really, really love that gauntlet. It came out really, really cool. So yeah. Next video was the 12-year anniversary for Skyrim. So I made a little Skyrim fireplace that has a little working fire LED in the bottom, and you can put incense in the top and burn incense and have the smoke come out and make your room smell good. So that was cool. That was fun. I 3D printed all these little trinkets and stuff throughout the game that you can display on your little fireplace mantle. And yeah, that's sitting on my desk right over here, and yeah, I really like it. Next video is I started the basement room build. I finally started. Will came over. We hung sheetrock. We put the door up. We did all this fun stuff down there. I got that one wall ready to go. And next video is the Gotta Print Them All episode 6. This was the Nidoqueen evolution. And that was a little quick video, specific size to fit on the shelf so that the whole shelf is taken up, the space is taken up. Yeah, that's fun. I do really enjoy painting like minis and painting that stuff. So next video is Will, Adrian, and I went to the Star Trek original series set tour in Ticonderoga, New York. So there's a little museum out there. That guy kind of rebuilt pretty faithfully the original set. So it looks like you're on set for Star Trek. It's very, very cool. I appreciate that now a lot more. Now that Will and I have been covering Star Trek weekly on his channel. And it was just very, very fun to see the set. So I took inspiration from that and I wanted to make something fun when I got back. So I made the Star Trek original series desk, communicator, and the notorious switches that are on every desk. Everybody has the desk. They have the communicator and the switches. So I did that. Next video, as I needed a storage for my craft paint. So I made a little craft paint storage out of poster board. Made that super cheap. It cost me $2. And I have the full video for you guys, and that was really, really cool. Okay, so then the next build video is the Dragon Ball microband. I made the microband, Bulma's microband from Dragon Ball, and now I have the Dragon Radar and the microband, and it was just something fun to kind of tie into Dragon Ball. I also tied it into an episode of the Nerd Holes, the Indian in the Cupboard review. I wanted to make everything kind of mini. And the last video for the year, you guys have probably just seen it, is the radon pipe in my basement that I painted and put vinyl on and made it look like it's on a ship. And in that video, I talked a lot about like just tackling projects one piece at a time. And don't get like bogged down or overwhelmed with stuff. So that's kind of my end of the year message for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great new year. I hope you have lots of projects that you can start working on, or start finishing. And they always just lead to the next one. That's what I've come to learn. I used to work with a guy, and he would say, the only thing that you get when you get work done is you get more work. So it's kind of the same with projects. Sometimes you start a project, you finish a project, you just have another project. And yeah, I enjoy staying busy with projects. Keeps my mind active on the project, and I get to kind of focus on little details of like, oh, how should this go together? Or I think about like how I should go about building this thing, and it just keeps my brain turning, you know? So that's kind of that. So yeah, so those were all of the prop videos and build videos I did this year. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I appreciate anybody who has subscribed this year. I hit 1,000 subscribers in November, and that was really, really awesome. And that made me very, very happy. And it's kind of funny to think that like there's 1,070 people that have eyes on my page or see my stuff, and it's just it's really cool. And just want to thank you guys for taking the time to subscribe and hit the like button and all that fun YouTube stuff. And I hope to see you guys again in another build video sometime soon. Definitely more this year. That's a guaranteed. There will definitely be more videos this year. So thank you guys for checking in, and I will see you guys in the next year.